Hello, guys. I guess it's not GM anymore, but GM anyway. Hope everybody's having a good day. Um, so I guess I'll just jump right into it because I have actually a pretty long video for you guys to watch. I know it's game day, so my name's Anthony. I'm the growth lead at Gunzilla Games. I'm going to talk to you guys about what a blockchain designed for gaming really looks like. So a little bit about my background. I was a hardcore Counter-Strike player on the competitive scene from 2007 for about a decade. Moved into CSGO, did a little bit of dabbling in Call of Duty, Valorant, and back in those days, there was just no money in the professional scene. So I made maybe like $200 a month as a pro player. And speaking with my peers, we were always thinking, how great would it be to have some sort of digital economy underpinning what we're doing so that there's actually maybe a hope for us to make a career out of this stuff, but just wasn't possible at that time. So fast forward about 4.5 years ago, I entered the Web3 space and always was interested in figuring out how we could thread blockchain technology in gaming at some point. I think we're starting to get there. So let me get into what we're doing at Gunzilla. So a little bit about our team. We have just over 260 team members across Frankfurt, Kiev, London, Los Angeles, and Vancouver. The best game developers in the world. We have designers, artists. Everything is done in-house at Gunzilla Games because we're producing all of our tech is proprietary, actually. A little bit about our co-founders. So Vlad, this gentleman right here, he is a very interesting guy because he actually founded a company called Plink, which is the biggest matchmaking application for gamers. So Plink basically allows gamers that are interested in whatever game it might be, Counter-Strike, League of Legends, to meet up with each other, communicate, and actually play together. And what's important about that is that he understands how important it is for us to share our experiences with others. And that is very apparent in the design of Off the Grid as well. Alex was the CEO of Crytek Kiev for 10 years. He built Warface with Vlad, which had 150 million players and earned $1 billion in revenue. So our co-founders actually have experience building a AAA game in the past. And then finally, our third co-founder, Neil Blomkamp. You might recognize him. He is a multi-time award-winning Hollywood director. He directed Chappie, he did Elysium, District 9, and recently Gran Turismo. So Neil is actually the chief visionary officer at Gunzilla Games and helping with the narrative portion of the game. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Gunzilla ecosystem, and then I'm going to get into our demo because I actually have a really long video for you guys, just so that you guys can sit back and enjoy. You can look at Gunzilla Games as the labs group. So we're building all of the products in-house. We are building Off the Grid, which is a third-person battle royale extraction shooter. Robot limbs. So basically, you can imagine an environment where you're running around, shooting each other. You can shoot someone's arm off, pick it up. There are new movement mechanics. We have grappling hooks. We have jetpack legs, all sorts of really interesting stuff. And the most interesting part about the game is that every single item, from the robotic limbs to the weapons, are all NFTs. Gunz is our AVAX subnet-based blockchain with features that are built for gamers and game developers to have easy onboarding. And I'll get into that a little bit later. So I think now I'm just going to talk about the self-operating napkin before I get into our demo. So what we found is that most blockchains are building a solution to a problem that doesn't exist. Similar to our gentleman over here who has built this really complex contraption to use his napkin, a lot of blockchains are adding friction instead of reducing it for game developers and gamers to get onboarded. So we wanted to solve that issue. We didn't want to end up like this gentleman who could have really just picked up the napkin with his hand and wiped up the spill. So I'm going to get into the game demo, if we can put it on the screen, and let you guys sit back and relax and watch some footage of Off the Grid. So a little bit about the game. one of the biggest pieces of feedback for games like Fortnite, Call of Duty, Warzone, is that around 60% of people who were interested in the game ended up being turned off because there was no narrative, there was no storyline. So what we're trying to do is actually solve that problem by mixing our Battle Royale game with a narrative campaign as well. So if we could put it on the screen, is it working? Yeah. You'll get to see a little bit of our narrative campaign and how that looks in some of the gameplay from our testing with the influencers, Clicks and Imperial Hal.
Listen, I know what it sounds like, okay? But I swear it's what we saw.
You're 100% sure?
100%, ma'am. Off-world biotech, quarantine labels, clear as day.
All right, you gotta watch out for that sniper. It's the same one that ripped my arm off. Come on up. You're gonna have to get in position.
It's unarmed.
Chef knows what they saw, which means Condor knows what they saw, which means they're gonna make you an offer to silence you.
Yeah, I know.
It's gonna be a lot of money.
Yeah, I know.
You actually, customize your own character. It's more like an RPG, more so.
Nice landing. Ugh.
So there you can see some of our movement mechanics. It was very important for us to actually focus on making sure that the gaming experience was built for both casual players and professional level players. So the game has been in development for 5 years. So we heavily focused on making sure that the movement mechanics were robust enough to satisfy pro players, but making them easy enough to understand for casual players to also enjoy the experience.
All the way to the finish line.
The only option here is to take the money, Hans. Seriously.
You just need to play the game.
I need medical team to meet me on the service level right now. Medics!
Roger that, ma'am. What's the injury?
Gunshot wound, upper abdomen. Stay with me. Fucking stay with me! Felix!
Scanning biometrics.
Don't be shy, man. Have a seat.
No, I'm good.
All right, guys, keep it. It's an ambush.
We're ambushed.
Go on. Watch him.
I'm dead.
I'm not dead yet.
Of course, I take a small fee.
We're the validators.
Math geniuses. The chess prodigies. Those 1 in a million savants can do math questions in their head without a computer, algorithms and shit.
Where they at?
What is this? 20 questions? Damn difference does it make? Whether they're here, there, or any damn where.
So you might have noticed he mentioned validators in that short scene. One of the unique features of Off the Grid is that we've figured out a way to connect both active and passive players through our validator NFTs. And so whenever a player decodes a hex cube in the game, whenever they hack in and unlock a weapon or a robotic limb, they have to actually pay the validator holder a fee to do so. So those validator NFTs are actually potentially quite valuable in the future when we have 100 million gamers playing the game. And an important thing to note is that we've raised 46 million with our Validator NFTs. In total, Gunzilla Games has raised over $100 million to date.
Two kids on top of the building. I'm gonna snipe him, 1 second. 1 dead. 2 dead, 2 dead. In front of me. 3 dead. Dead. In the bush, Dead. Wait, shooting me. On the building. I shot his leg. He's jetpacking down, I think. He's going to your left. Shoot him. Dead. I'm coming. Good stuff, boys. And Rose didn't even get touched. That's what I'm talking about. No? With you. Let's go.
Debts are paid. You ain't gotta work no more.
I said, I do.
Hey. Listen. Hang tight, all right? We'll figure it all out.
Back to work. Back to your little brain puzzles.
We'll figure it all out.
Left, so I'm going to just talk about a couple of topics while we play the video. So you might be wondering how we are onboarding our users into Web3, and we're doing it in a different way that we think may be the key to actually onboarding the next billion users. So whenever somebody makes an account on PlayStation, Xbox, or PC, and yes, this is going to be the first Web3 game to launch on PlayStation and Xbox, which we're very excited about. Each person that makes an account will have a Gunzilla wallet, which means that hundreds of millions of players will be onboarded into Web3 for the first time without even knowing it. Our NFT marketplace is built in-house, so it means that we actually can embed it in the game ourselves. So when players jump into the game, they have a wallet, they'll have their assets, they'll be able to trade on the marketplace, and without any friction, they'll be interacting with Web3 without even knowing it. And that, for us, is core to our philosophy. We want to make Web3 as accessible as possible, as frictionless as possible, and ensure that the gameplay really tells the story. We don't want another case of the play-to-earn era where we had players that were only there for the money and not for the gameplay. And we've been developing off the grid for 5 years now, and blockchain design was intentional from the very beginning. Our core belief is that players need to feel like they're a part of the ecosystem. They need to feel like they can compete and enjoy and immerse in order to actually feel fulfilled when they actually do get that item and end up trading it or buying a new item for that matter.
No. She thinks that people should return to nature, right? What was it? Hashtag go outside? Well, take her outside and compost her.
Huh?
No, you get the out of my aircraft!
We just saved her, protected her, for you to tell us to kill her. Like, this just does not make sense. Alright, we killed Dr. Respect, Imperial Hal, saved Rose, killed a bunch of guys. What's next? Let's breach the space elevator.
Okay, guys. I think that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed. If you're interested in learning more, you can actually scan this QR code. I'm actually going to, if we can just quickly put my presentation back on the screen, I'm going to skip through because I don't think that QR code works anymore. So let me just push us to the end here and give you guys a chance to scan it. So if you want to learn more, please scan this QR code. You can check out Off the Grid. It'll be on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. If you want to learn more about Gunzilla games, you can come find me. I'll be walking around the conference for the next couple of days. Or you can find us on socials at Gunzilla Games or at Play Off the Grid. Thank you, guys.